Gentlemen, the 5 extra large fashion mistakes I most commonly see and how to correct them. Here on Big Pretty Man. Hi, and welcome back to Big Pretty Man, a channel for the extra large man who wants to live his life large and in charge. I'm your host, Timothy Big Pretty Crowe. I'm a wardrobe and lifestyle consultant for the extra large man. Okay, gentlemen, since I started this channel, one of the missions that I had has been accomplished on a great scale. And that was, I've had a lot of extra large men contact me and even send me photos of how they're dressing, where they're trying to dress more elegantly and more professionally and try to look better, whether it be in a business casual look or a dressy casual look, or even a casual look. But I've been asking for my advice. They've been sending me pictures of things they're wearing. Is this okay? What recommendations do you have? And I'm very proud of you, gentlemen. All of you out there that's sent me these pictures, have contacted me that I've been helping. And, and you asked for my critique. Well, I've kind of noticed with all of you, there has been the same list of critiques I have to give. The 5 mistakes that you're making. Now, I want to say, I commend you greatly for taking that step. You went, some of you I know went from just wearing jeans and t-shirts with your butt hanging out, and your stomach out, showing out the bottom, to trying to put on blazers, to try to put on vests, to start wearing ties, to try to wear dress shirts and and hats. And I really commend you. I'm very proud of you for taking that step. But now it's time to kind of twerk it just a little bit. And that's what I'm going to do. Just tweak and twerk a few things. You're doing great, but just take note of these 5 things I'm talking about, and it will greatly improve your look as an extra large man. Okay, so let's get started on number 1. The one that I see pretty common is the clothing you're wearing, these dress clothing that you're wearing, are either too tight or too loose. It is fit. Fit is the problem. Too tight or too loose. So, and gentlemen, I'm actually seeing more of the too loose, the too big, than the too tight. Let me remind you that too big and too loose is just as bad as too tight. If you're wearing clothes too tight, you start looking like, an overstuffed sausage or the Michelin Man. It starts kind of bulging all out. But if you're wearing clothes too big, now you look like you're a fat guy wrapped in a bunch of blankets that's just draping everywhere. It's just all this material, and I understand why in a lot of your cases. You're very conscientious of your weight, and and you are taking to heart what I said about you want to even all that out. However, and kind of hide that. However, you can't really hide that you're a big man. What you got to do is just remove the roundness, as I said before. And when I say remove that roundness, I don't mean go to the extreme and put on a tent or for a jacket. No, you need to have proper fit. Now, if you follow the guidelines, like I said before, said in my other videos, make sure that, what you're wearing helps even out your lines. Wearing the pants up to your waist are going to do that. Wearing the suspenders with your belt are going to do that. It's going to take away the lumps. Wearing a proper jacket is going to do that. But if it's too big, it's going to make you look even bigger. So make sure that it is a proper fit. Make sure when you button your jacket, you have a little bit of room left, here in your middle. Make sure that the shoulders are not too wide, no more than maybe a quarter inch for your shoulders to come out from your true shoulder. You just want a little bit of that square look. That's all. You don't want to look like a linebacker, like you're ready to go play in the Super Bowl. Just a little, not too far. So you want to find a middle way in this. Not too tight, not too big. Because too big is just going to make you look bigger. Too small is going to make you look like an overstuffed sausage. So, be very careful about your fit. Get your measurements. Know what your measurements are and go from that. even off the rack. You can, you can get close enough. And then if there's something a little too loose, a little too tight, well, a little too loose, a little too big, then you can hit your tailor. And that brings me to the second mistake I'm seeing. You must have your clothes tailored, at least in two specific areas. And that would be your sleeves and the break of your pant. I see this the most of any of the mistakes, is people wearing their shirts, the cuffs of their jacket coming way up here. It's either too long, it's too long. The break of their pants, the pants are pooling around their feet like they're melting, and this makes you, makes you look clumsy and awkward, like you don't know what you're doing when it comes to your sleeves. And with your pants, it makes you look dumpy. Nothing can make you look more dumpy. And if your sleeves are out, you look like a little kid putting on daddy's coat and playing like he's going to the office. That's cute for a kid, not for a grown man. So once again, what you need is like what I'm wearing right here. Remember, you need the sleeve of your jacket to come within about an inch to an inch and a half shorter than the sleeve of your shirt. That's what you want. When you hold your arms down, it should come to about a half an inch to an inch from the end of the shirt sleeve. When you lift your arm, it should come up about an inch and a half to 2 inches. This is what you want. This right here. You don't want it too long, coming all the way up here. Or also, don't go too short. Make sure you measure that it's just like a half an inch with your arms down. And then when you raise your arms up, it's an inch and a half to 2 inches. Because if you get it cut too short, now you look like you're wearing a little man's jacket. You don't want to be, regardless of what Chris Farley said, fat man in a little coat. So get that taken care of. And when it comes to your pants, once again, you want either one or two breaks. You want the break that comes right to where you tie your shoes. Or if you want to show up your socks, move it up to about the bottom part of your ankle bone. Okay? Right where your ankle bone, the ball of your ankle is. Move it there. That way you can show off your socks. Those are your two choices. Now, I would say more, and which pants and which outfits you do that with, well, it matters on what you're doing. If you want a very business look, maybe just, very, very traditional, right to the top of where you tie your shoes. If it's more of an outwear, you want it to be a little flashier to show the socks, then have those pair of pants that the break comes to about the top of your ankle, of your ankle bone. But either way, get those fixed, because without that, it makes you look dumpy, and it makes your arms, you look like a little kid, or a fat guy in a little coat. And we don't want either one. And if you got both, you look like you're melting down below, and you're like a little kid above. We don't want either one. Now, number 3 also has to do with the detail to your garments, to what you're wearing. And this one has the potential to completely ruin your entire look. And that is ironing. You must iron your clothes. Especially your dress clothes. Especially your dress clothes. You must iron your clothes. Because I don't care if you're wearing a $500 blazer, a $200 to $300 shirt, you've got on the cufflinks, you've got on the accessories, you got on a nice hat. All of that is completely ruined if you look like a walking laundry hamper. Okay? It is so important, because without it, you look like a wrinkled mess. You look like you've slept in your clothes. You look like you're not giving any detail. It makes you look messy. It makes you look sloppy. And that's the last thing you want. You'd be better off to be in jeans and a t-shirt. At least they're not wrinkly. Or usually they're not. So if you don't know how to iron your clothes, learn. I haven't done a video on it yet, and I probably should. But there are other people. If you go online, I know Gentleman's Gazette's got some great instructions on it, as well as other men's sartorial videos. But look it up, how to iron your clothes. Or if you have a spouse or significant other that knows how to do it, ask them, especially if you're dressing up in your dress clothes, to teach you how to iron. Or, if they love you that much, they'll iron for you. But it's something, actually, it is a skill that all men need to learn. Don't think that it's unmasculine, to learn how to iron. That's some sort of woman's job. No. Real elegant, well-dressed, sophisticated men know how to iron their own clothes, because that spouse ain't always going, or significant other isn't always going to be around. Like if you're out away a couple of days on business, who's going to iron your suit? Yeah, exactly. So learn how to iron. Be sure to iron your shirt and to iron your pants. Get that good crease in your pants. And as far as your jackets, you can have them ironed, or at least keep them hung up. Actually, a little steam on them will straighten out a lot for a blazer or a jacket. And just kind of run them over, and you can actually do pretty well with that. But make sure that your clothes are clean and ironed, and they look crisp and sharp. That's going to make a huge difference, and one of those final touches in in the way you look and what you wear. Learn to iron, gentlemen, and that way you can look right. Now, number 4 is another one of these attention to detail issues that if you don't do it right, it can completely ruin everything you're trying to achieve and what you're wearing. And that is wearing inappropriate shoes or not taking care of your shoes. Now, first off, I know sometimes it's kind of a look to, with the sneakers with a suit. I'm sorry, I think that went out with Phil Collins, and even then he was trying to be kitschy about it. So forget that. Stop wearing sneakers, trainers, whatever, tennis shoes, whatever you call them, with a full suit. It just doesn't look right. It's not cute. It takes, you look elegant, and you look sophisticated, and you look crisp and sharp. All that attention, you get down to your feet, it just all went out the window. You're wearing a pair of New Balances or Converse. Come on. Now, I realize, and I do wear them, especially for work, you have these crossover shoes with like the sneaker bottoms and and more of a dress shoe design on top. Those, I think, can look okay, especially if it is a job where you're on your feet a lot and you want to look good. I use them myself. They do look pretty good. However, don't buy the expensive ones. Get the cheaper ones and toss them out. It's not worth buying the expensive ones. But those can work. But now, outside of that, another thing about your shoes is you need to give them proper maintenance. You need to shine your shoes. You need to keep them cleaned and polished. If not, you may have this, $500 pair of shoes, $1,000 pair of shoes, but if they're dirty, they're cracked looking, polish hasn't touched them, since Obama was in office, you might as well be wearing the New Balances, because it looks horrible and it's just ruined everything you've done. You can be the crispest suit in the world, everything creased, everything perfect, perfect accessories. In your shoes, it's done. You got bad shoes, it's done. So be sure to wear proper, if you have wearing dress shoes, make sure they're polished and taken care of. If you're in the crossover shoes, make sure they're at least cleaned. You can clean and polish those, by the way. It's a cheaper leather, but you can shine them up. You might not want to give them as bigger attention as you do to your more expensive dress shoes, but you can make them look good. If they look dirty or nasty, or dull, shine them up, clean them up and shine them up as best you can. It's very important, because these are the shoes are the foundations of what you're wearing. Think of it that way. If you got a bad foundation, it's going to fall, and if you don't got bad shoes, your outfit's going to collapse. So take care of your shoes. Okay. Now, last but certainly not least is number 5. Is a problem that I'm seeing that I can understand, because this one's a little more difficult to gauge. And I can see where gentlemen would have problems with this, much more than the more obvious ones I mentioned before. And that is either not wearing accessories with your dress clothes, or wearing too much accessories with your dress clothes. Now, I have said in the past, way more than once, it's been one of these things I keep plugging, is that yes, you want to stand out. You want to get away from the suit clone, so everybody looks exactly the same. You want a little pop. You want a little individuality. You want a little expression in what you and how you dress. Now, I'm still seeing a lot of you guys that are sending me pictures of yourself in your dress clothes. I'm like, you don't have on a pocket square. You don't have a boutonniere. Either one. One or the other. I'm not seeing any other. I'm not seeing cufflinks. You're wearing barrel cuffs. I'm not seeing any type of accessories at all. It's just the plain suit. And plain suit, I commend you. You look a lot better than you did when you was just in t-shirts and jeans and your butt crack showing. But now you've went from dumpy and looking way too casual to well-dressed but dull. It's just flat dull. There's no snap to it. There's no life in it. You look like you're uncomfortably attending a funeral or a work event where they made you wear a suit and you don't know what to do with it. It's swallowing you. You're not jumping out at all. You just are blending in the background. And you don't want that. And on the other scale, I see guys that are wearing way, way too much. They have on the boutonniere, but it's a huge flower. They've got a big colorful pocket square just flared everywhere. And not only that, they're wearing chains for a pair of spectacle glasses. They're wearing pins. They're wearing fancy tie clips. They've got like 5 bracelets on with their watch on one hand, 7 on the other. It's just too much. Now you're starting to look like you're in some sort of bad fashion army. Just with all your medals. These medals are just too much flair, as they said in Office Space. It's just too much. And now instead of just showing some pop and some expression, now you look like a clown. Yeah. And now you don't want to fade in the background and look dull, and you don't want to be look like a flashy pimp. So, once again, you've got to find kind of a middle way. Now, sitting right here, I'm going to give myself a good example. I'm dressed here in more business casual. I've got on my hat, but that's another thing, big feathers in the hat, but we'll get into that. But I'm wearing a pocket square that matches with my jacket. At least it's a close color. I'm wearing a rather conservative rose style boutonniere, and that's it here. On the as far as what's on my arms is I've got I got my watch and one bracelet that kind of matches with the watch, and on the other hand I have on one bracelet. As far as my hands, that's another thing. Guys on top of having, a huge lily on their lapel and, a towel hanging out of their, for their pocket square, and all the medals and chains and tie clips. They're also wearing a ring on every finger and 2 on the thumb. But as you see here, I have one pinky ring on. My lapis lazuli ring that I wear on this pinky. I actually wear this because this pinky was broken. If you ever wonder, you see that's as straight as it gets. And so I use that to kind of hide it. How the pinky got broken, that's another story. Used to be a little wilder, okay? But as you see, this is all the decoration I have. And in fact, I was even thinking this might be a little too much. And it's always good to ask those questions. Am I wearing too much? Coco Chanel said, and this applied to women's clothes, but it can apply to us as well. She said, before you leave the house, take one item off. So, and that, even though you may not, at least consider it. Stop and say, am I wearing too much? And really look. Do I really need this? If I left the house, I might actually take that off. I might not. But, keep that in mind. Now, it's good to have some just a little bit of pop, something to get you a little notice, something to accentuate what you're wearing, but you don't want to, make it look like a carnival. That when the accessories are taken completely away from your entire look and all people remember are all your accessories, you've overdone the accessories. And as far as not wearing accessories, and I understand why, gentlemen, in most of your cases. One, I think that bigger guys are afraid or a little intimidated at wearing accessories. I understand. Well, a big guy, a lot of times they've had low self-esteem. You're trying to raise up your self-esteem. And in doing so, it's been a big step to put on the suits and the ties. Accessories, you're like, that's too much attention. That's going too far. I understand that's going from learn a few steps to suddenly trying to do a waltz. It's scary the first time to step out like that. But, you remember the reason you did this. You want to look better. You want to present yourself better. You want to be noticed. Maybe you don't want to be a clown, but you want people to see. And accessories, if they're done right, definitely do that. You don't want to go through all this change in your wardrobe just to look dull. You want to stand out. Accessories are going to do that. What I recommend right now, if you're not used to wearing accessories, start with the pocket square. Learn how to play with it. Learn how to fold it. Put it on. Try different colors. See how you like it. See what style you like. Kind of find your own fold that you think fits you. And then if you're feeling a little better about it, maybe a boutonniere. Just try it out. See how you like it. But definitely start with the pocket square. Pocket square is pretty common for an accessory. It's not that flashy, but it does set you out from this plain looking like you're something hanging on a rack. It makes it come to life. Pocket square will do that. So try it out. Now, as far as you guys that are wanting to wear 1,000 rings and all this, I have a certain rule myself. You might want to adopt when it comes to accessories. I always say, if I'm all dressed up, then less is more. Okay? I look good enough. I need it to accentuate, not make the full statement. So, the pocket square, the boutonniere, maybe one bracelet, 2 rings, tops, and I'm good. However, if I'm dressing down, then I want the more to make up for the less. So, in other words, when I'm wearing a suit or a business casual like I'm wearing now, I don't need as many accessories. I need them to literally accentuate with the accessories, not make the full statement. However, if I'm dressing in casual clothes, if I'm wearing jeans or just chinos and a t-shirt or an open face shirt, then I want to liven that up with the accessories. I want to go a little more. I might put on 2 or 3 chains, necklaces. I might put on a couple of rings. I might put on maybe 2 or 3 bracelets. I'm dressed casual. This is literally making me pop. It's making me stand out. So there you can go a little, a little further out. Don't get ridiculous, but you can play with it. Then the accessories can accentuate. Actually, they're what people are going to notice over your dull, regular, casual clothes. If you're just wearing jeans and a t-shirt, but you got on some rings, you got on some bracelets, you got on a couple of necklaces, you're popping. You're showing a lot of personality, and showing personality is what it's all about. You're already showing plenty of personality when you're wearing your clothes. You're showing the personality of a sophisticated man, and therefore the accessories are just a little pop and a little attention getter. When you're out looking casual, then the accessories are now making you look like a more exotic, a more sophisticated, a more stylish man, and that's what you want. So you have to judge these things. So, but basically, if I had to give any advice, dressing up, less. Dressing down, more. Go from there. Well, gentlemen, that's all I've got for this video and these 5 mistakes. Now, please, as I've said to you gentlemen that have been contacting me on how you dress and answer my critique, I'm just trying to make you look. I'm not trying to take you down. I'm trying to build you up. And building you up is giving you these twerks and tweaks that you need to improve the way you look, so that it'll improve your self-esteem, that you'll get more confidence, get more attention, get more respect when you're wearing your clothes, rather than doing some little silly things that can ruin it, the whole effect. So, listen to Big Pretty, when it comes to these little tweaks, and just adjust this and these little things, and man, it's like a fuzzy screen on TV. A little adjustment to the contrast, and boom, everything looks perfect. Everything becomes clear, comes into focus. So, so tweak your outfits, get your tailoring done, get your fit done, iron your clothes, wear the right accessories, shine your shoes. So therefore, every time you walk outside, you stay pretty.